Okay, here's another episode of my messy life. So I'm like squatting on the floor in my bedroom at my grandpa's house, and like my messy suitcases everywhere. The lighting's all messed up because I'm in front of the window, and then there's like literally a tree directly in front of my window. We're rolling with it. I think it's important to show like the less glamorous and like rehearsed side of makeup as well, and like the less rehearsed side of life, because I don't know, I'm a real fucking person. I do real shit. And I don't think a YouTube channel should be like perfect settings, perfect lighting, you're ready for the day, your makeup's great, yay! Like, no bitch, this is real life. So I'm gonna get ready. I'm meeting one of my best friends, Steven, for lunch really quick. So I wanna get ready kind of quickly, but still look obviously cute, because I have things to do after I meet with Steven. I drop some stuff off. Oh, I'm spying. I keep like spying the neighbor across the street from my grandpa's because I saw her yesterday, and she's like an older woman, like in her 70s, parked in the middle of her garage, so you know she's single, boo, okay? And like, I'm trying to find my grandpa girl, but like, ugh, there's no cute old ladies in his neighborhood. Anyway, so, and he is picky. He gets like super nervous around like people in general just because of his accent, and like, I guess the neighbors like across the street, they went to like their HOA meeting or something like that. So like, also my grandpa's neighborhood is like a, I don't know, like a development cul-de-sac or whatever. There's like 3 homes in each section. Like one building is 3 houses, and they're like townhomes. And my grandpa lives in like an N unit, and like he did, my grandpa does drywall, you know, he's like 80 years old. So we're just chatting and getting ready. This is my, oh, actually, no, I'm gonna be in the sun today. I've been loving using this while I've been gone. This is the Super Goop Everyday Sunscreen SPF 50. Anyway, it's not really wanting to focus. I gotta sit because I got some bad legs. That's my messy bed. Just, we're gonna ignore it. I don't make it. My grandpa makes it every day. Anyway, so my grandpa's neighborhood is like, I don't know, like a development or something. I don't know what you'd really call it, like a cul-de-sac. And he did the drywall on all, buildings. He is 80, I think. Yeah, my grandpa's 80. He has literally told me he's 39 7/8 for like years, so I always have to do the math of how old he really is. He did the drywall on all the buildings in his neighborhood, so he's been in like everyone's house before they moved in. But his house is different because like he knew he was gonna buy one of them when he like took the job. So his house has like rounded corners, and like he has like nicer flooring and cabinets than any of the other houses. Like I think his are all cherry, and then all the other houses I think are like walnut or something. I don't know. I'd have to ask him. But anyway, my grandpa's neighborhood, so like he knows all the neighbors because he like built their houses and then like crept on them all when they moved in. And like a few of the houses have like switched over from the original owners to like new people. Anyway, the neighbors across the street, I think they're like a younger couple, like 30s or 40s. I don't know. My grandpa said they were older than me, but not old. So I'm guessing they're like 30 or 40. They were at the HOA meeting, and like my grandpa usually just waves to people and doesn't really talk to them much, except for like Don, who lives like right next door. He's like my grandpa's age and does a lot of golfing and shit. Anyway, the people across the street were like talking to my grandpa, and like the second he opens his mouth, you're like, boy, where are you from? Where are you from? So he told them that he's from Poland. And I guess they just like, my grandpa really doesn't like tell people his like story, I guess, because he's pretty embarrassed by it a lot of the time, which I think a lot of that comes to like the age he is, because when he moved to the United States, he's a displaced person of Europe. So basically that means he's a refugee. Left Poland voluntarily because of the Nazi invasion, but more importantly, oh, I didn't do any primer. Too late now. They left Poland voluntarily because of the Nazi invasion, but more importantly, they feared the Red Army, which is the Russians, because they even knew then that Russia was a scarier thing than the Nazis, which is like really like mind-blowing to think about. But anyway, he, I guess, was like telling the neighbors like his life story, and they were like all amazed. And my grandpa like still to this day like doesn't realize, like, yes, he's just a normal like run-of-the-mill dude, but how remarkable his life story is. Maybe I'll try to put some primer on really quick. Basically, my grandpa he's a DPE, which is a displaced person of Europe. He came to the United States when he was 12. They fled Poland when he was like 5, I think. His family just was on the run in Germany from the time he was 5 until he was 12, and they were able to legally come to the United States. he has a map in his bedroom that I got him of Poland before World War I that had like the line markings of what Poland was when he was growing up, because where he grew up is now part of Ukraine. Russia took it over, so it's good they left because they probably would have never left. Anyway, so the neighbors across the street, he was telling me like they were like super interested in him and like asking him a million questions about his life, and I was like, did you tell them you're a Russian spy? And he's like, no. Which I think he should. But anyway, I guess like he was just like so amazed. Why did I get on this topic? My grandpa. I guess he was just like so amazed that like his neighbors were so interested in his story and wanted to hear about it. I'm like, yeah, like you live a very fascinating life. And he still works like 6 days a week. He's at work right now. He believes if you stop working, you will die. So he works nearly every day. My armpits are like hella sticky right now because I realized out of everything I packed, I forgot to pack deodorant. And it wasn't a big deal when I was at my sister's house because I just used hers. But I'm at my grandpa's house now for like a day and a half and I don't have any deodorant. Oh, we got on this topic because I was spying on the neighbor because I was trying to find her because I'm trying to get him a girlfriend. I mean, I had to use my grandpa's deodorant today and it's literally like the Speed Stick, like green gel stuff. It's literally the same stuff I think my dad used. So I smell like a middle upper aged older gentleman, but whatever, live that lesbian life, you know, or whatever. I usually use men's deodorant anyway, just not Speed Stick, like regular ass Speed Stick. I use like, what do I use? Fiji, Old Spice Fiji. Ooh, that shit is good. Maybe I'll buy some and then just like leave it here with my grandpa because not like gross older man, just like definitely smells like not a hot guy. I think my grandpa's very handsome for his age. What else am I gonna do today? I'm gonna have lunch with Steven and then I'm gonna be driving my grandpa's car today, which like terrifies me because, so basically he drives his truck to work and it is not a truck, it is a minivan. And he loves that thing. He's had it for like, I think he bought it new and it's a 2008 or 9. He loves that fucking thing. It has like 300,000 miles on it because he drives like all over the region for work. And basically it's just like had so many issues. So he needed to get a new vehicle. So 2 winters ago, him and I went and picked him out his new car. He has a 2015 or 16 Chevy Cruze and he loved it and named her Penelope Cruz, and he never drives it. Literally it sat in his fucking garage for so long the battery died and he says he hates it. I think he just needs to get a new vehicle because I think because he is an older individual, getting like in and out of it I think bothers him. So I don't know, he parked it in the garage like kind of crooked, so I have to like get it out without smashing it into the garage door or wall. So we'll see how that goes. I've never driven it, so we'll see. And then later today my grandpa and I are gonna visit Mr. Bozen, which I think I mentioned earlier, who's like, he was like my neighbor. He was my neighbor growing up and he's like a grandfather to me. He's like the cutest gentleman. He's 92. He's a World War II vet, and like him and my grandpa just talk about Europe and about the war because it's interesting because my grandpa remembers a lot of it as the perspective of a child because he was a kid obviously, and Mr. Bozen was a super young adult. He was like 17. So it's just really interesting. Like there's been a few places in Europe that they actually missed each other. I need to wipe my fingers off. Hold on. There's okay, back on my face. It's actually super interesting because there was a few towns in Europe that Mr. Bozen liberated. Like his detail in the military was like liberating cities or going in liberated cities after the liberation and like helping the people living there. And there was a few cities that my grandfather and his family fled before liberation because they feared that the Russians would liberate them instead of the US military. And they were terrified, obviously they're European, they're Polish. If you left Poland, basically, they would say you're a traitor of the USSR. You know, they aren't Russian. That's what they did, and then they would kill you. So, and I guess my great-grandfather had some sort of diplomatic blood in him or like noble blood. So they were, they could have easily been a target for being shot on scene, basically. So they fled a few cities that Mr. Bozen ended up coming in after liberation, which is like really fucking cool. They could have met like, I almost said 200 years ago. They could have met like 60 years ago. My grandfather's lived in the United States for 62 years now, I think. 64 years, something like that. This is just my hula bronza, and I'm smacking it on there. I didn't really like look what I was doing because my mirror's like over here. I'm literally, my camera's staying on a windowsill right now and I'm sitting Indian style on the floor. But you know, this is real life. And when you go to other people's houses to visit, you never know the situation, like lighting and shit to do your makeup, or you're in a hotel and it's dark as fuck in the bathroom. And you know what? You gotta make it work because you still want to put your makeup on and look beautiful, you know? I just can't get over the fact that I smell like an older man. I really need to maybe purchase some deodorant while I'm here. But I spent this morning watching Maury and Jerry Springer and then Catfish. So, you know, priorities. I do need to go to Ulta anyway because I ran my Makeup Revolution concealer is like really running low and I need to get a new one. So I'm gonna go to Ulta anyway, and maybe I need to get like a blush brush. I might go to like the Dollar Tree for that though, because I forgot one and I don't want to use my contour brush for blush and get it all like gummed up and dirty, you know? All right, that's it right there. Like kind of needs a little bit more concealing, whatever. It might be patchy. I don't give a shit. Steven's not gonna notice because he's a boy, and I don't think he notices when his wife puts makeup on. Not that she needs it because she's beautiful, but you know, he's not the most observant. And then I'm just putting a little face powder on my face just to like kind of blend everything in, downplay my sliminess from my sunscreen. Actually, that sunscreen Supergoop really doesn't make me look slimy. I got the like sample pack to see if I'd like it because so often sunscreen makes me look like hella slimy, and I'm all about that like fakely plasticky matte life. Like I hate even looking skin like demi matte. I want to be like fucking matte, like lizard matte. Don't ask me why, I just do. You know, actually I don't care that you can like see the imperfections in my face. I have to like run to my friend Mail's house and creepily leave her baby shower gifts at her door for her because I don't have time to actually like hang out with her because I'm gonna go to the nursing home this evening, and then I'm going to just hang out with my grandpa because today's the only day I have to see him really. And he doesn't like Skype or fly or do any sort of technology stuff, so I can't really see him otherwise. I just talk to him on the phone. I turn to Mail's house today. I have to just do some shit. And then tomorrow I leave to go to the bachelorette party, so I have to see if I need to do like a craft for that too today. Because I might have to. Oh, I have perfume. Cool, I forgot I brought this. Ipsy to the rescue. This is the Kenzie Loving Life perfume I got in my Ipsy bag this month. I forgot I brought it home with me. In my mouth, in my mouth, in my mouth. Blah. Smells good, tastes bad. Smells good, tastes bad. I'm gonna pop this lip color on. This is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Seoul. S-E-O-U-L. I know they're named after cities, but like, anyway. Steven has luckily been friends with me since like elementary school, so he knows when I say I'm on my way, I'm like, haven't left the house yet. He knows, he knows. He would ask, he said, what do you want me to order you as a drink? Because I know I'll get there before you. Just water, thank you. He's the best. He's like that friend, like, Steven is like that friend of mine that in middle school, like people were super mean to him in middle school and high school, and he's like, no matter what, like the sweetest person ever. And he's just like so kind to most people unless you're like an asshole to him. I'm using my chocolate bar palette because that's literally the only eyeshadow palette I brought home really. And I just dipped into white chocolate real quick, setting a little base. And Steve's like literally the most reliable, responsible friend I have. He's married, has 2 kids. Anytime we like went out in college and we like were going someplace like to a club, which we don't really have a club. We went to like Lando's here. Hello. Anyway. It's like a club we had in Elmira where I grew up, and well, Courtney and whatever. And literally I've gone in my track uniform. So the standards are high there. Anyway, I'm dipping in a salted caramel. Anytime we would go, my mom would be like, who's driving? How are you getting home? That's an expensive taxi ride. What are you doing? Who's getting you back? And anytime we said anyone else, my mom would be like a little skeptical and be like, if they end up drinking 1 sip of alcohol, you call me, I'll come get you, blah, blah, blah. If I told my mom Steven is bringing me, she'd be like, okay, have fun, bye. And like that was the end of it. Like my mom just always knew Steven would bring us home. He'd like get us in the house after he dropped us off, make sure we all had like water, you know, made sure we were good. And like if my mom like happened to wake up and came downstairs, he would like be so nice and talk to my mom. And he's just the best. And like he's always willing to like help a hand with my family. Like he's helped me like move stuff in the house before and like rearranged furniture. He's helped my mom with like stuff before. He's just the greatest. He's like just such a quality friend to have, and I just love him dearly. And I love his wife, and their children are just the most precious children ever. They look like Caitlin, thank goodness. I always say that to her as a joke. Steven's cute, but like, oh, I just say it to be mean to Steven, and he knows it. It's just a joke. This is just milk chocolate, and I'm just putting that in the crease there. Miss Harper is like, their daughter is like what I would want my little ginger children to look like, but with blue eyes, because Caitlin has brown eyes. She's also a redhead. Hers is like a really pretty deep auburn, but anyway, I'm gonna meet him. And I'm just taking whatever's left on this brush and just like putting it over the rest of my lid, because like, can a bitch be bothered? Nope. I want like a little bit of color, but I also like don't. I'm just gonna take this concealer and put it all over my lid, just as like a little bit of a base. I'm really running out of this concealer. And then I'm gonna go in the chocolate bar palette, and I'm gonna dip into Candied Violet, and actually I'm just gonna put my finger in it because I never use that color anyway. And then I'm just gonna pat that all over my lid. Also, I'm trying new contacts right now, and these ones are hella annoying. Every time I like itch my eye or I'm like tapping the eyeshadow on, they like move. It's super fucking annoying. I'm also like somewhat contemplating stopping at the animal shelter today and looking at dogs, because my grandpa's been like kind of talking about getting one, but not like really talking about getting one, just like saying he likes dogs. And I'm like determined to get him like this old fat dog. But he also says he doesn't want a dog in his house. But like, do you really not want one? Or are you just saying that? He doesn't want to pick up the poop, and if it dies or he dies before it, I'm like, well, I'll fucking take it. Plus you're 80, you're like not gonna die for at least 10 years, you know? Which is like really sad to think about my grandpa dying, because he's like one of my favorite people in the whole world. He's so precious. And 80's like young, he's spry. But he's just worried because his 2 brothers each died this year, and like the one was 90 and then the other one wasn't that old. He was like 85, but he had like a stroke, and that really like messed him up. He had like a major stroke, and then I think he had a heart attack like right after. So he was like really messed up, like couldn't speak and like couldn't do anything for himself anymore. My grandpa's like very much like I said, he thinks if you stop working you die. He's very much like old school kind of guy. Like, we were talking last night, he was like, if I ever get to the point of going to a nursing home, like, please just kill me. He refuses to like be a burden on anyone, even though I would like gladly take care of him and wipe his butt and all that stuff. But he just doesn't want to be a pest to anyone, you know, doesn't want to be in the way. If he can't enjoy his lake house and like doing what he likes to do, he just doesn't want to live his life, which is like totally understandable. And he does all that. He's actually waiting this week. He's so excited. My grandpa's getting a new boat because his was like, I don't know, had some problems. So he's getting a new boat, and he's like so fucking excited to get his new boat, and he's really hoping it comes in before I get back on Sunday from Saratoga Springs, so he can take me on a ride on his boat before I leave to go visit my mom. Like telling me all about it. Naturally he has no pictures because the man still owns a flip phone, but he was like telling me all about it and like telling me where he got it. He like ordered it or some shit, I don't know. He got it from a place, I think, but they had to like order it in or something, I don't know. This is just the Better Than Sex mascara, and then we're gonna be done, and I'm gonna go meet Steven. And I'm gonna be very careful getting my grandpa's car out of the garage because it's nice and I don't want to crash it. And he parked it in all fucking sideways. And he even said last night, he was like, oh, I didn't park this in very well. That's gonna be hard to get out. And I was like, yeah, you should probably get it out for me in the morning. Growing up, we had like no garage, and then when we finally got one, it was like specially made for my grandma who's in a wheelchair. So it was like massive. It was like 2.5 car width, and like, so no matter where she parked, they could open the doors and get her in and out from her wheelchair. So it was like, you couldn't fuck it up getting in and out. And when I had a concussion one time, I still managed to hit the garbage cans and break my car door. So ever since then, I was like 18, my grandpa just doesn't have confidence in my driving at all. And he brings it up like pretty regularly about how I hit the garage door. Okay, eyebrows, last thing. We're gonna whip these on. My hair is wet, it's in a bun. It's probably gonna stay there because I don't really care. Wet hair don't care, right ladies? Right. Guys have it easy, they just fucking leave the house. It's funny like how much I love doing my makeup, but it's not that I hate doing my hair, I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm so envious of girls that can like do twisties and like braids in their hair and stuff. Every time I try to do like some sort of cute side braid on my hair, I just look like some crazy person because I have such a big forehead. I just have no idea how to do hair. I'm in my friend's wedding like in January and it's already giving me stress on like what I'm gonna do with my hair because I just let it be. I think if I worked a job, no, this is not true. I was gonna say, I think if I worked a job where like my appearance mattered, I would try more. And when I worked at a restaurant where like they wanted you to look good, I did try with my hair sometimes, but then most of the time I just wore it down and it was a mess. Okay, eyebrows are on. We're ready to go. Okay. We're ready. I feel like the nose piercing might be a bit much. Might be a bit much. Might have to take it out. We'll see. Oh my god, this man gave me no space to get out of this goddamn garage. I don't even know where the keys are. I think he said he left them in the car, which I don't even know how this thing works. Technology. Okay, do I put the keys in the ignition? Oh my god. This man's too tall too. Ah! If I can't even figure out how to adjust the seat. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Alright, we're in the car. We're gonna seatbelt in and then we're gonna get out of the garage. And hopefully get out of the garage okay without a problem. But it's gonna take me a while.